The documentary on the activities of the United Nations Joint Programme Sustaining Livelihoods Affected by the Aral Sea Disaster. The Aral Sea was formed more than 10,000 years ago, and until 1960 it was one of the largest inland seas in the world. The Aral Sea area was considered a region with a great diversity of flora and fauna. The sea has historically played an important role in the development of the region, providing employment for the local population. It was one of the richest fishing grounds in the world. Over 35,000 tons of fish were caught each year. A majority of the surrounding population were employed in the fishing, fish processing and transportation industries. The fertile land surrounding the Amudarya and Sirdarya rivers provided employment for more than 100,000 people in agriculture, including farming and poultry. In the 1930s, the large-scale construction of irrigation canals began in Central Asia. Since the 1960s, the sea began drying out as a result of increased diversion of water resources for irrigating agricultural crops. As a result, for over half a century, the volume of water in the sea has decreased by 14 times and the water level has decreased by 29 meters. What was once seabed, appeared vast salt field, is now the new Aralkum Desert, whose area covers 5.5 million hectares. Dust and salt storms rage over this territory for more than 90 days each year, spreading 100 million tons of dust annually. Due to drying of the sea, a complex range of environmental, socio-economic and demographic issues have appeared in the Aral Sea region, which may have a global impact. These issues include climate change, drinking water shortages, increased morbidity, reduced employment and low income levels, and degradation of the gene pool of flora and fauna. At the request of the government of Uzbekistan, the problem of the Aral Sea was raised for the first time in 1989 in the resolution of the Supreme Soviet of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics titled "On Urgent Measures for the Ecological Rehabilitation of the Country." In the resolution, it was acknowledged that the Aral Sea region was an ecological disaster zone. Since 1991, Uzbekistan joined its neighboring countries in implementing water resources management programs in Central Asia. The impetus for the solution to the problem was a meeting of the heads of Central Asian countries held in Tashkent in 1993 by Uzbekistan's initiative. As a result of the meeting, an international fund for saving the Aral Sea was established. Since then, a challenging and grand effort began in the region. As practical measures, the Republic of Uzbekistan has undertaken a comprehensive approach to maintaining water balance and bioresources in the area, improving the ecological environment, enhancing the living standards of the population, the rational use of water resources, and combating land degradation. Since 1993, a scheme for limiting water use has been implemented. Uzbekistan has allocated more than $700 million from its budget to irrigation and reclamation activities in the Aral Sea area. In addition, it has attracted more than $1.2 billion from the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, the Islamic Development Bank and other international financial institutions. As a result, for over the last 15 years, 180,000 hectares of the Amudarya Delta has been irrigated and local water bodies have been created that enable restoration of flora and fauna. In order to prevent the spread of salt and dust, the planting of bushes has been conducted in an area of 740,000 hectares, where hundreds of thousands of Saksaul, Salsola and Kandum bushes have been planted. In 2011, the Lower Amudarya Biosphere Reserve was established with an area of more than 68,000 hectares. Through the house construction program in rural areas, more than 1,200 houses were constructed in Karakal, Pakistan, and more than 1,800 were built in the Khorezm region. With the purpose of providing the population with quality drinking water, more than 6,000 kilometers of a water supply network has been installed. In order to improve the healthcare system of the region, more than 100 rural health centers and polyclinics have been constructed, reconstructed and equipped with necessary medical equipment. Lastly, the number of new jobs created has exceeded 100,000 annually in the Karakal, Pakistan and Khorezm region. During the period from 1997 to 2012 in the Aral Sea region of Uzbekistan, the total amount of utilized investment was $21.8 billion. Uzbekistan has repeatedly urged the world community to realize the significance of the Aral Sea problem from the high podium of the UN General Assembly. During its visit to Uzbekistan in April 2010, the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon visited the Aral Sea region and welcomed the efforts of Uzbekistan and other neighboring countries in mitigating the consequences of an ecological catastrophe. An important step towards mitigating the Aral Sea disaster consequences was the launch of the UN Joint Programme Sustaining Livelihoods Affected by the Aral Sea Crisis in 2012, which is the first unique large-scale joint programme of 5 UN agencies in Uzbekistan, including the United Nations Development Programme, the United Nations Population Fund, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, the World Health Organization and the United Nations Volunteers. This programme operates with the support of the United Nations Trust Fund on Human Security. The joint programme has been based on the use of an integrated approach to solving the complex problems of the Aral Sea area and aiming to improve the economic, food, health and environmental security of the population of Pakistan. The programme operates in 3 areas: expanding economic opportunities in creating new jobs, enhancing the capacity of healthcare facilities, enhancing good governance and access to improved basic social services. This programme can be considered a positive experience of collaboration between different UN agencies, government structures, international organizations and other stakeholders in searching for, developing and implementing different tools for mitigating the consequences of the Aral Sea crisis. There is no doubt that this experience has been successful and essential. It is more effective to invest in programs and approaches that have already been proven successful. The solution of the problem depends not only on the availability of funds, but also on the availability of well-designed, tested and adapted tools and productive cooperation between donors. Since June of 2012, the joint programme has implemented tens of important and useful projects. We are showcasing the most successful projects for the possible further consideration of their replication and expansion. In the current ecological situation of the Aral Sea area, the region's population has actively developed new spheres of entrepreneurship, which were previously not specific to the region. The programme set an objective to expand opportunities for income generation and to strengthen the economic security of vulnerable populations, especially in remote locations. The development of beekeeping has had a positive effect on the environment. It has contributed to the improvement of biodiversity through the massive pollination of vegetation in the region. The joint programme has assisted farmers in a number of districts of Pakistan in developing beekeeping and honey-producing enterprises. The farmers were trained in modern beekeeping methods and were provided with the necessary equipment. As a result, 58 farmers and private farms were able to improve their food and economic security through the introduction of modern methods for the sustainable use of vegetation, soil and other natural resources, including in degraded lands and forest areas. Bread is an essential part of the food security. The joint programme has supported young entrepreneurs from the Moynak and Shumanay districts by providing special and modern equipment for bakery and bread products. As a result, new job places have been created and the productivity of 4 business entities have increased in serving the local population with bakery products. Mr. Elbrus Khalmuratov, a resident of the Kanlikol district, has received support in the form of the necessary equipment for producing household items and tools. In light of the increasing demand for decorative products and items, the business is successfully developing and 2 additional job places have been created. Moynak was once a port city, but today it marks the edge of a desert. Here, not every family can afford buying a computer and obtain internet access, despite their importance in studying and information exchange. The joint programme has supported establishing the computer service by providing 6 full computer sets and accompanying furniture. As a result, the Moynak population is greater benefiting from global processes and information flows. Investing in the economic development of rural women and girls has been one of the top priorities of the joint program. The program has supported 9 initiatives to create a sewing business by providing them with necessary tools, including sewing machines, overstitching equipment and furniture. These initiatives are aimed at creating a favorable business environment which allows for an increased production of national and children's clothes. These projects have provided jobs for 19 women and girls. The efficient use of any resource is always important for farmers, especially if it is the basic source of agriculture, water. In the Kandikul district, the laser levelling of land was introduced for the first time by the program, which has led to significant savings of water resources in irrigated fields and increased their productivity and the resulting incomes of the rural population. Now water no longer collects in the recesses of fields and is evenly distributed over the whole surface, thus saving resources and providing a greater yield for the whole area. For this purpose, laser land levelling equipment has been purchased and adequate trainings have been conducted by the program. The joint program has purchased necessary equipment and established a centre for the collection and processing of milk within the Kandikul district, which has a population of 46,000 people. The centre was provided with a milk pasteurizer with a capacity of up to 500 litres and a tank cooler with a volume of up to 1,100 litres. Now local residents no longer have to take their milk to district centre, as they can sell their surpluses to new facility and get an income. In the future, the centre plans to produce sour cream and curds. The flow of foreign tourists visiting Uzbekistan is increasing year after year. Pakistan, with its museums, unique flora and fauna, ancient forts and monuments of the past, has a great touristic potential. Ecological tourism is gaining momentum in a unique state biosphere reserve in the lower Amudarya River Basin, where a tourist information centre has been established by the program. The centre has been established to attract tourists and acquaint them with the flora and fauna of this region. 150 kilometers from the reserve stands the ancient Jambaskala fortress. This fortress stands in the border of the ancient Khwarezm kingdom, and today it strikes us with its magnificence and attracts thousands of tourists. The joint program has established an information center within the Jambaskala youth camp. Activities have been conducted for the creation of a resource center and improving the infrastructure of the Jambaskala complex. The location was provided with an additional yurt, furniture and office equipment, and a solar panel and wind installation was established. Existing yurts were also repaired. All of these improvements have in turn increased the number of tourists. The efforts of the joint program have also been aimed towards mitigating the impacts of threatening factors to the health of the region's population, with an emphasis on health security of children, adolescents and women by improving access to basic health services and primary health care. In order to improve tuberculosis case finding and to improve the quality of lung disease management, a strategy for a practical approach to lung health as recommended by WHO is being implemented in the region. Trained healthcare workers in primary healthcare facilities are providing a standardized and quality service to the population of 10 districts in Pakistan. Developed manuals, informational materials and purchase equipment are improving the quality of services. Training of medical personnel and community members in regards to family planning and legal and economic support has improved the quality of family planning. This has led to an increase in the number of women following a 3-year interval between birth. Trained young mentors have increased youth access to information on the prevention of TB, HIV/AIDS and other infectious diseases. More than 1,600 community volunteers have been trained on preventing aspects of tuberculosis and other lung diseases and are actively sharing this information. 120,000 residents in Moynak, Shumanay, Karuzak, Kegeli and Nukus districts have been reached as a result. This activity has contributed to the timely detection of new cases of tuberculosis and other chronic lung diseases. The program has purchased and delivered medical equipment to the Ministry of Health of the Republic of Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan. A total of 10,000 items of equipment have been provided, including 250 peak flow meters and 8 spirometers. These have contributed to further improving the quality of medical services. One of the most important factors that affect human health is the quality of ambient air. At the Republican State Center of Sanitary and Epidemiological Supervision in Nukus, equipment for monitoring the assessment of air pollution has been established with the program support. It has also purchased filters for air sampling. Air monitoring is conducted daily throughout the year. The joint program conducts activities at different levels for the development and implementation of community development plans aimed at expanding the rural population's access to basic social infrastructures. The use of such methodologies for the development of communities is a unique approach used by the program, which supports the interactive participation of local people in planning and decision-making in regards to priority issues in their communities. In the modern world, energy decides everything. Sustainable access to electricity is important, especially in the healthcare facilities on which a person's life may depend. The program has installed solar panels at 9 rural healthcare facilities of the Moynak district. Now, there is confidence that vital medicines will be kept within required temperatures and that the provided medical equipment will help patients in their treatment and diagnosis. Thus, the population of Moynak district have access to improved health services. After the fall of water levels in the Aral Sea and also in the lower Amudarya River, the remote Moynak district has been experiencing an acute need for irrigation water, as residents of this district are engaged in livestock raising and agriculture. The local population has identified a priority need for the provision of electric water pumps for pumping water from central channels which sit below household levels. Therefore, the joint program has supplied and installed 4 high-power pumps in the Shege, Shagirli, Kipchakdarya and Kazakdarya communities. The living conditions of Moynak district residents have improved as a result. Water is the basis of life, especially in this arid region. For many years, some remotely located communities had no access to piped water and the nearest sources were located at distant locations. At the initiative of inhabitants of the Kanlikul, Shumanai and Moynak districts and with the financial support from the joint program, over 6 kilometers of water pipes and 5 water pumps were installed. As a result, more than 9,800 residents have access to potable water. Based on the established community development plans, 11 new transformer stations have been installed for providing the rural population with reliable electricity, which has in turn led to the creation of favorable conditions for 6,400 rural residents. Over the years, the joint program has shown its effectiveness, relevance and positive dynamics in achieving its set goals. For the first time, 5 UN agencies, key sectorial ministries and local authorities have joined efforts in the search for development and implementation of the tools to mitigate the consequences of the Aral Sea disaster. Obviously, these measures are not sufficient to fully achieve global objectives set by the government and the international community in creating enabling economic, food, health and environmental conditions in the Aral Sea area. However, these projects can be considered as paths which may pave a wider way to the region's prosperity with a great history, culture and people who honor their traditions. They can build prosperity in the beautiful region where wonderful children grow. Today, this prosperity is in our hands. Let's work together on ways to save the Aral Sea.